Welcome to the third lesson of the course How to Draw a Cup of Tea. In this course you will learn how to draw the basics of perspective for designers and architects. This third lesson is about drawing a cube by using a perspective construction method. As a designer or architect, you need to be able to sketch your designed object more or less in the right proportions. When you know how to draw a cube in the correct proportions, you can relate your object to the ratio of that cube. Observing an object like this, we see the observer looking through a picture plane. You can see the rays running from the person to the object through the picture plane. Here is the image made after that situation. You see the observer observing an object. The picture plane is standing in between the object and the observer, and the image is projected on that plane. Here are the lines visible, which run from the observer to the object and which meet the picture plane. Those lines together are called the cone of vision. If you would like to draw a good perspective of this little model, you first have to make a good documentation. Therefore, you start with making the elevations and a top view in the right dimensions. Where is a square visible? In the front you see a square plus a rooftop. Measure the square you draw. The rooftop is 1/4 of the square. Show this in the drawing. The other elevation has the same width as the front facade, so we draw another square. Then draw the top view. Extend the lines of the front view. The depth of the top is the same as the width of the right elevation, so pick up that size. Last step is making darker lines and some toning. Dark lines at the positions which are excluded from the chosen light direction. Here is a drawing of an interior space made by using a perspective construction method. There is a plan and an elevation. The width of the elevation is 4 meters and the same as the width of the wall at the back and front. You see the position of the observer overlooking the plan as seen from top. I can choose the picture plane wherever I want it, between me and the object, but also behind the plan. It is depending on how big I want to make the drawing. All the red lines show the size of the drawing on the picture planes. If you want to make a perspective, which could be seen in reality without distortion, the observer needs to have a certain distance towards the object. Now I can number the corners of the room A, B, C, D, and I can project them from my eye to the picture plane in the back, where the verticals can be drawn. Then I can draw the walls in the front and in the back, looking at the ratio of the elevation. I put the horizon on a realistic height, which is here on seating position, a bit more than 1 meter. Straight upon me, there is the vanishing point of the one-point perspective. The horizontal lines run to the vanishing point. If you want a two-point perspective, you have to position the plan differently towards the observer. I turn the plan or square in the wanted position and choose the point from where you want to observe the object. This situation is as seen in top view. To make a correct, undistorted perspective, your distance should be so far from the object that the cone or angle of vision isn't bigger than 30 degrees. It's easy to put your position straight towards the closest angle of the cube. From there on, you make the rays or lines going to the object and projecting on the picture plane. How to do it myself? Going back to the documentation which is made. In a two-point perspective, I first put the top view in an oblique position related to the observer. I take a distance, but I need to take care that the angle of vision is not bigger than 30 degrees. You put the picture plane perpendicular on the line, which meets the first rib of the house. Usually the picture plane is in between you and the object, like could be seen in the model. In that case, you get a small drawing. The vanishing points can be placed on the picture plane too. The picture plane here could also be seen as the horizon, as seen from top. The right vanishing point is far away, and the line starting at your eyes running to the picture plane is parallel to the line at that side of the cube. The other vanishing point is closer to the object, because this is the most foreshortened side of the object. The angle of the line starting from your eyes going towards the horizon has the same 90-degree angle as the object itself. Instead of putting the picture plane in between object and observer, I also can position it behind the plan. It's just a matter of relative sizes. So now I'm able to make a bigger drawing. I can place the verticals in the right positions. You can place the vanishing points and the verticals downwards or upwards, there where you want to make your drawing. The line of the picture plane can become the horizon in the drawing. Where the lines from my eye looking at the object meet the picture plane, you will find the mutual distances between the verticals. The next and most crucial step is to combine the top view with a side view to create a correct image of the object. You don't know yet how high the object needs to be drawn, and also not yet known is the position of the horizon in relation to the object. Therefore you make a side view which shows the vertical sizes. Most easier for making this step, you can turn your page. I first walk away from my top view. Where I've empty space to make another drawing, I stop and make a ground line. Now you can draw the side view by drawing the verticals downwards from top view to the ground. What's the height of the house? The house is a cube plus a rooftop, being a quarter of the size of the cube. For the cube, the first rib has the same size in the elevation as the sides of the plan or top view. How do you look at your cube or house? Or better, what is your length in relation to the size of the cube or house? If you decide that the cube is half your length, you can put your own length related to that of the object. My eye level is 1,50 meters. Then my object will be 3 meters in the drawing. The horizontal line starting from my eyes looking straight towards the object is the horizon in the side view. I put the rays from my point of view to the object and extend those lines towards I meet the picture plane. The sizes of the height will grow in the same ratio as seen in the top view. Now I can use the line of the picture plane also as being the horizon. The vanishing points are there already. Now you can start making the final perspective. You can put the length of the rib above and beneath the horizon, picking this up from the side view. Then from top and lowest place you go into the direction of the vanishing points, and so you find the length of the other ribs. Now also draw the back of the cube so that it becomes transparent. This could be necessary if you need to make more construction. Don't forget to make the rooftop. I can place it on the right position in the perspective, making the rays from my eye to the middle of the top view. The height of the roof is 1/4 of the height of the cube. You can find the right size in the top view, but easier it is to measure the length from the vertical in the middle of the cube. Those sizes are unforeshortened and can be doubled or middled easily. Do this also in the back. Now, next step is toning. And here is your perfect house. The size of this cube is half the size of me or you, the observer. I can draw a block close to the house. This one is now half the size of the horizon, thus 75 centimeters. I can put myself standing close to the house. Making a frame around creates space. I can make a sky, bigger clouds on top of my drawing. This is relatively close to me. Finally, the clouds are disappearing towards the horizon. Some other person. Placing a ball. How big is the ball? The line from floor to the horizon is 1,50 meters. Half size is 75. Too big for a ball. Half size then? Okay, let's do it. Another ball. Ooh, that's a bigger size, a skippy ball, or even a bigger one. What about grass on the horizontal plane of the underground? On foreground the blades of grass are big, but towards the horizon they will disappear. That also with the tones. They also get lighter and less intense towards the horizon. Oh, and I would love to make a tree. A tree of 6 meters would cut by the frame here. But if I put this closer to the horizon, also doesn't fit with his total length on the page. Thank you for attending this web lecture about drawing the basics in perspective for designers and architects. There is a next step: how to draw your objects into cubes.